Alright, hello. So, been a minute since I've made another video. I've decided to make this one, obviously, on regards to King of the Table 14. I've been following all of the match announcements, and this looks like it could be one of the greatest cards in East versus West history. Because I know that King of the Table is in association with East versus West. This is a really good card. I really like it. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do now, instead of doing what I did for predictions on East versus West 17, for this one I am instead going to make individual videos. So this video will be about Micheal Todd versus Vitaly, which is the main event. And I'll go over a bunch of other things. I'll be able to dive deeper into detail, and then I'm going to make a video for each match on the card. So this one's for Vitaly and Micheal. I'll start by saying this is a really good match. I mean, both styles contrast really well. You have the ultimate offense of the super heavyweight division versus the ultimate defense in the super heavyweight division. So many factors come into play with this match. It's very interesting. For my prediction, I prepare by watching previous matches, so probably the most recent match. Matches in history with these people who have had similar opponents to who they're going up against. So for Vitaly, I've done his most recent match with Georgy Zaranov. I've done his match with Hermes, and then I reviewed his match with Artem at East vs. West 16, and then his match with Dave at King of the Table 5. All of these were kind of more like... Oh wait, no, I messed up. Georgy Zaranov was not his most recent match. It was his most recent right arm match. His most recent match for Vitaly was East vs. West 16 against Artem Morozov. So Vitaly is in extremely good form, and he is really determined to get as many wins as possible leading up to Lavon, because I mean, it is criminal how low on the rankings Vitaly is, that he is 9th, just above Morozov. Like, that's criminal. I think he is number 4 in the world. There's Lavon, then Hermes, or Lavon, then Devin, then Hermes, and then I think Vitaly's next. However, I think that my perception on things will probably change, because I think Micheal Todd is at a form right now that he can beat Vitaly. So, before I get sidetracked, the reason why I picked the videos I did to watch and prepare for this match, so the first one, Zaranov, that was just to see what a dominant performance from Vitaly looks like. So to see currently how strong he is, that he came in there, and even in the final round when they slip, Vitaly seemingly missed go. So he's sitting here and he's ready to go, and then Georgy kind of pulls into his hand trying to get the slip, and Vitaly doesn't move. He just sits there and lets it go to the strap. Like he just let Georgy do whatever he wanted, and then he just pinned him. That was one of the most dominant matches we've seen, period. Not even just from Vitaly, but period. Very dominant match. Shows that he's on another level right now. Then I watched, it was him versus Hermes, because, I mean, Michael's most recent opponent was Hermes, and considering Hermes wasn't at his greatest form against Micheal, I would assume his form was quite similar to when he faced Vitaly. So this was a good way to figure out where they would be at. I'm sorry if the audio is pretty bad. It's raining right now. I felt the need to do this because I've got a little bit of a drive here. So I did that match, and then I did his match with Artem Morozov because it's his most recent, so we get to see his most recent form and how he handles stamina. Because everyone is kind of viewing this match the same way in favor of Micheal, and that is, if Micheal can get the stop on Vitaly, Vitaly cannot flash pin Micheal, Vitaly will lose. I saw what Artem's thoughts were on this match going into it. I completely disagree with him. Completely. Because Artem said if Vitaly is not able to flash pin Micheal, which I think he'll be able to do, he'll be able to get it close enough that he can go in and transition for a press. Like, really? Do you honestly think that Vitaly has a good enough press to be the best Kings mover in the world? Really? That is a very interesting take because I completely disagree. I think that only the strongest press can beat Micheal. Let's take a second and just analyze that. Artem thinks that Vitaly's press, that little flimsy whatever finishing move that he did to Artem during East versus West 16, that's enough to pin Micheal. Let's take a look at who has fought Micheal in the press. Kamil Jablonski didn't get a single pin on Micheal, and he's widely considered one of the best pressers in the game. Gennady Krikvinya pressed him every single round, got 1 point. The other one was kind of debatable, and even so, he did it in a press. So basically 2 points from his press. And Micheal perfectly countered it, rising up in the straps until he got here with Gennady. So the thing about that match is, for that one round, the very first round, Gennady would have had to touch the table with his wrist in order to put Michael's hand against the pad. There was no way he would have been able to do that. Micheal climbs very effectively. I hope he does that against Vitaly. I think that Michael's going to be able to crack Vitaly's wrist, and when he does, Vitaly is going to have nowhere to go. He's going to try to press, and he's going to realize very quickly, well, that avenue's closed. That is not happening. If Gennady couldn't effectively press through Micheal, like Hermes did, but Hermes is just savage. He's crazy. Of course he can press through Micheal. If Kamil couldn't press through Micheal, and he had 3 chances to do it, I do not think that Vitaly's flimsy, long-armed press is going to do anything. Vitaly's top roll, my goodness, it could do a lot against Micheal. I guess, so the matches that I also chose for Micheal were his match with Gennady, because that was a dominant performance from Micheal. Even the pins Gennady got, like, Micheal was smiling afterwards. He's like, okay, you can take those, because I'm still going to beat you. He seemed very confident, very dominant. Then I rewatched his match with Hermes, because that was his most recent form. By the way, he's been hitting those PRs and everything like crazy. He's been hitting the lifts really, really well. You know, I also watched, what was it? Did I watch his match with Kamil? No, I didn't. I watched his match with Frank Lamparelli. Because, number one, I haven't seen that match since I bought pay-per-view for East vs. West 12. So I haven't seen that match in a very long time. It's been almost a year. So I watched that match again because Vitaly's one of the best top rollers in the super heavyweights, probably the best. And Frank was probably the most effective top roller in the heavyweights. I wanted to see how Michael dealt with a really effective top roll. And he dealt with it pretty good. And heavyweight Micheal Todd is not the same as super heavyweight by any means. By any means. He was struggling a lot in that match. Now he's good. So considering watching their most recent matches and the most, I don't know, like the most efficient matches to watch, I do think Michael is going to beat Vitaly. I don't think Vitaly has enough to flash pin him. And that is the big issue that the entire community is surrounded by is, yes, we think Vitaly is better, that he's got more of a chance against Levon. Like, we think Vitaly is really, really good right now. But when it comes down to it, he tries to flash pin people. I don't think he's going to be able to flash pin Michael. And if the match stops, everyone's pretty much in agreement, except for Artem Morozov for some reason. If the match stops, Vitaly will have nowhere to go. Because Vitaly's entire style is all about getting the flash pin, immediately finishing off his opponent. If he cannot do that, he will lose. He's got okay endurance, but he's only good enough in endurance to outlast his opponent as his opponent is declining in endurance. Michael doesn't. Michael's got a lot of endurance. So I don't think that Vitaly's going to beat Michael there. And Michael can sit in his King's move much more effectively than Vitaly can sit sideways with his top roll or sit on top with the press. And if the match stops, here's the thing, maybe Vitaly will wiggle in a win, which I don't think is even possible. But you have to imagine, during that entire time, Michael's just going to be climbing. It's just going to be climbing higher and higher and higher. And when he does, Vitaly's not going to be able to do anything with him. I don't think so. I think that this will be a longer match more than a quick dominant match. And I think Michael's going to beat him. The other thing is, so we have to consider, how effective is Micheal Todd off of go? And I think he is very effective. If we watch the first round against Gennady, we see him top roll into the King's move. So he is very quick off go when he needs to be. Michael needs to be quick against Vitaly. If he is not quick against Vitaly, he might lose. Because Vitaly is one of the fastest super heavyweights. That is his goal, is to be the quickest off of go, to be the first one to start the pressure. But if Vitaly is so fast that Michael's King's move starts and it just opens up because he doesn't have enough time to tense his muscles properly, that will be a difficult thing for Michael to handle. If Michael is not fast enough to engage his King's move, Vitaly might be able to flash pin him. But I think Michael is so experienced and has so much knowledge and has been pulling a King's move for so long, I don't think he's going to make that mistake. I think he's just going to engage that King's move, and he's just going to beat Vitaly from there. So I think that this match goes in favor of Micheal Todd. I would say 3-1 or 3-2. I don't think it's going to be a 3-0 victory for Michael. It rarely ever is, because he had a dominant performance against Gennady. Gennady got 2 pins, right? So that is absolutely something to consider. Yeah, I do think that it's going to be dominant from Michael, but the only thing is he also kind of plays with his food a bit. if you could call it that. So Micheal is going to try to beat Vitaly, but if he's seemingly dominant, he's going to have his fun. He's going to sit in that king's move. He's going to test out some things. I think that Michael's going to win, and he's going to get the shot at Levon. The shot that he has deserved for a very long time. But honestly, I don't think he has. I take that back. I don't think he's deserved it. He's deserved it in of his rank. He has world titles in pretty much every competition there's ever been in arm wrestling. He is super experienced and super huge in the sport. But until now, I don't think he would have done well against Levon. Now he is at his absolute strongest. He is at his absolute best. I think he has as good a chance now as he ever will. And I'm happy to see that he is re-entering this match. Because when he lost to Hermes, I was thinking, man, is that really it? Like, he beats Lars Rabakin, he beats Frank Lamparelli, he beats Kamil Jablonski, Gennady Kwiatkowiak. And he's on the road to Levon. And he fights Hermes, he loses. Now your shot at Levon is gone. Like, to me, that felt, wow, that's pretty harsh. I wish he would get another chance, and now he does. I didn't know that they would replace Vitaly's secured match against Levon, because they had pretty much all but secured that he was going to be Levon's opponent after Hermes. But this works out just fine, and I don't think that if Vitaly loses, they're going to say, yeah, you're not fighting Levon anytime soon. I think they're going to say, yeah, you will be next in line in 2026. That will make the most sense. Because Vitaly's been waiting for his shot at Levon for a very long time. So it'd be very rude of everybody to just decide that he doesn't deserve it anymore. Anyway, this is a huge, huge card. Very big card. Lots of matches. Lots of interesting matches. I've still got to do more research. I've still got to plan some things out. I'm super excited for this one. So, thank you guys for watching. If you have, take care. God bless.